I'm sure you all have been on a great holiday on sunny beaches of either Greece or Spain or Portugal. They often eat a fish, an animal called octopus. I know, you all don't eat octopus, but we got to at some point because it's such a great source of protein and so many vitamins. I can't even count that how many great goodies come from octopus. So let me tell you, there is a great dish from Galicia in Spain, and I'm saying because that's how they speak. It's actually Galicia in proper English, and they would eat this recipe in a very simplistic way under name of Pulpo a la gallega. We are going to make Pulpo a la Londres because we live in London and we'll make it London style, and London style is British Indian style, and that's what we are going to do. Great recipe, very basic Spanish take on, and then it takes a flight from spices to give you a great spicy octopus. We buy a large matured one, which is about 2.5 to 3 kilograms. That's the right size. And also, there are certain buying qualities, the things you need to look for when buying for octopus. In this country, though, you buy only frozen one, but as and when you stumble upon the fresh one in markets in Galicia or wherever in Mediterranean, look for this. This animal has got 2 suckers on its each tentacle, and that's the very good quality of octopus. That speaks for itself. It also has a cousin which has got only 1 sucker, and that's not that good. It becomes very tough very soon. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. You just have to cook it slightly longer to make it more tender, right? And apart from that, there's not much. This is an amazing recipe, and some people who actually inspired me to do that, I should take their names. These 2 guys are friends of mine, and I'm very proud of them. They're called Sam and Eddie Hart. They have a beautiful restaurant in Soho in London called Barafina, which is a taperia or tapas place which is inspired after Barcelona or Madrid. You can't just book in there. You have to queue there to eat. They only have 16 seats. They cook some amazing Spanish food there. So please go there, you'll really enjoy it. They have given so much to London when it comes to Mediterranean food, that's no joke. You will be inspired when you go and eat there. Now, coming back to our own recipe, I know that we don't eat this in India, but sometime we have to make this Indian and start eating. For British Indian style octopus or Pulpo a la Londres, these are the following ingredients you're going to need. It serves about 8 to 10 people. 1 frozen octopus, about 2 kilograms, thawed, sea salt to taste, 1 onion peeled and studded with few cloves, 1 bay leaf, virgin olive oil for cooking, 2 teaspoons sweet paprika, 2 tablespoons chopped flat parsley or coriander leaves, 1 teaspoon toasted cumin seeds crushed, 1 teaspoon toasted coriander seeds crushed, 1 teaspoon chaat masala, 1 green chilli thinly sliced, 1 medium red onion thinly sliced, and about 2 teaspoons of lime juice. Right, the water is boiling. You need to add plenty of salt. I know, it's a vicious question or subject. How much salt? I would say about 3 odd tablespoons. Add to taste. Idea is that if you are near sea, then you can use the sea water to boil the octopus into, but it should taste like sea water. And as the water is boiling, I can bring it back to a vigorous boil. Look at that. Massive beast, but it'll shrink a lot. And sometimes you may not get octopus, so you can use, I would say, squid, but you may not need to process it for so long. Once it comes to boil, I'll drop the heat and let it simmer for good 45 minutes. And I also need to add a bay leaf and my onion. I suddenly realized my pot is slightly smaller, so I have to change the plan. Put the clove and the onion in there. And all I have to wait for is the octopus to get tenderized, and then I'll take it out in a tray, let it cool. So I got my onion, cloves and bay leaf in there. But one thing which is mystical, mythical, I must do that because Yogi tells me to. 2 pieces of Coke. I don't believe it, but you know what? I think he knows better than me, so I'll respect him. This is almost ready. I got a strainer and a tong ready here. So look at that, this really shrinks. It becomes really small because the protein shrinks in the heat. That's what happens. Put that here, let it cool down a bit on the side. And while it's cooling down, I'm going to get the pan ready. Pulpo is cooked. I got some olive oil here. So you need to put enough olive oil. Now olive oil, depending on the pan, how big pan you're using, and to do this step, which is actually nothing but, we call it in technical terms, you're confying the food, which means you're cooking the food so that you break down the muscle to a very delicate stage. And that cooking is done at low temperature for a longer time or slowly, or it's a slow cooking. I'm sure some of you use slow cooker at home, similar process but done in oil. So I have used about 2 centimeters because it's quite a big pan, and I'm going to cut this pulpo. First thing you do is actually you discard the head. You don't need the head. To get rid of that, there's also ink in the head of the octopus, and we'll cut the pieces. You need about 2 centimeter pieces. I could actually just cut them here. Wow, it's hot. And now keep cutting it. Now when the oil is getting warm, I'll just use this much for now, and I'll cut more and put it in there. It needs to cook slowly, and this is also served in cold or hot, whichever temperature you wish to. I just feel that at room temperature, pulpo tastes the best. Perfect. Perfecto. Here we go. And you have to cook at this temperature. When you add this, it's actually the temperature of the oil also drops, but your idea is to maintain the temperature, and in technical terms, very specific technical terms, about 75 to 80 degrees centigrade. And it's very hard to say that how much it should be unless you have a thermometer, to a cooking thermometer, not the temperature thermometer which you would use for the medical purpose. There's a cooking thermometer is slightly different. If you can get hold of that, nothing like it. If you can't, just don't fuss about it. If you just put your hand on top and you can feel the heat, not harsh, but just the mild heat, that's the perfect temperature. And that's how I do it at home. Now I'm putting my finger in, you don't do that at home, please. For safety reasons, not health and hygiene. I clean my hands all the time. Okay, and this is here, and it will take about good 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes 15 also. And the way to check it is you take a piece out, and if it's really warm inside, then it's ready. And because I've just put it, it's not, but you taste it, it's nice, chewy. It does show that it's getting ready. So I'll just wait for another 5-10 minutes till it's ready. Right, my octopus is absolutely ready. It's shiny, glistening, and perfectly cooked. Now, to serve this, easy way of doing it is to just have all the condiments ready with you, and place your octopus roughly. Now, once the octopus has been laid up on the plate, just take some warm oil, oops, and pour it on top. This is highly octopus flavored oil, so it works really well here. Leave that. Now we'll go on to put the spices. Now the spices I'm using is toasted coriander seeds, which have been pan toasted, and then I used a blender to crush them. Just a little bit of that. Some chopped chilies, make it picante, as they would say it in Italy or Spain. Some onions. Not too much, because you want them to blend in with the flavors. And I'm going to use a little bit of chili. You could use paprika. The sweet paprika is the natural companion of octopus, but here I'm using red chili. Some salt. It's already salted, but a little bit more salt does help. And of course, I can't forget lime. Just squeeze it on top, rather than bringing the juice out and then putting it on top. Just squeeze it. Works well. And what I also have here is chaat masala. So typical Punjabi. Can't live without chaat masala, so I'll use that. Not too much, just sprinkle it lightly. And what I have here is some caperberries, or capers, sorry. You could get berries as well. Just few, 2, 3. Again, to make it a little tangy. I'm going on putting spices. I can't stop. Some coriander seeds, toasted coriander seeds, which I also again toasted in pan and crushed it. These are all optional. You can make your own. And some cress. You could use some chopped parsley, but I'm using cress just to make it a little more nicer. I have roughly chopped coriander, which I'll do that. And that's it. This is called Pulpo a la Londres. Right, this is how I went about making my octopus a la Londres, or British Asian style Pulpo octopus, whatever you want to call it. I started with a large pot of boiling water with plenty of salt in there, 3 to 4 tablespoons, depending on how much you like. And then I lowered my octopus into that with half an onion or 1 small onion studded with 2 cloves, a bay leaf, and also 2 corks from a bottle of wine. Bring the water back to boil and then take it down to simmer for 45 minutes till octopus is absolutely tender. Then take it off on a strainer, resting on a bowl so that the liquid is drained properly. And then cut it into 2 centimeter pieces. Heat plenty of olive oil, about 2 centimeter height, in a largish open pan. And then put all the octopus, the cut pieces of octopus. The temperature approximately is 80 degrees, but for you, just put your hand on top, not touch the oil, and you'll feel the heat and the haze. And that's the right temperature. Just drop the pulpo in there and cook it through. Then I took out the octopus in a bowl and then placed them on a tray or a plate. I poured some cooking olive oil on top of that, sliced chilies, onion, some red chili powder, squeezed some lime juice, toasted cumin and coriander, and some chaat masala, some cress, whichever cress you want. And here it is. It looks beautiful and I'm sure it will taste nice.